For months, Thomas, a 14-year-old boy, carried the new alien girl, Zephyr, to school because her crystalline legs couldn't handle Earth's gravity. What he didn't know was that Zephyr's mother, the Empress who controlled 70,000 star systems, was watching, and judging humanity by his kindness. Thomas had never questioned why the new girl in year 7 needed him to carry her to school each morning. Her crystalline legs didn't bend properly, something to do with low Earth gravity and her alien physiology. But she had the brightest smile and the most infectious laugh he'd ever encountered. Her name was Zephyr. Every morning at 7 o'clock, Thomas would knock on the door of the small house on Whitley Street in Bristol. Zephyr would be waiting, her luminescent skin glowing softly in the morning light, her alien features somehow beautiful despite being so utterly foreign. Without a word, she'd wrap her arms around his neck, and he'd carry her down the stairs and through the neighborhood to Beaufort Secondary. "Tell me about your homework," she'd say as he walked, her voice like crystalline chimes. "It's math, Zeph." "Dead boring," Thomas would reply, carefully navigating the crowded pavement. "Why do we need to learn calculus anyway?" "Because understanding systems makes you understand the universe," she'd answer seriously. "My mother always says that knowledge is the only true currency across the stars." Thomas never really thought about what Zephyr had meant by that. He was just a 14-year-old boy from an ordinary Bristol family. He helped carry her because it was the right thing to do, and because her presence made every day better. The other students thought he was mental, but Thomas had stopped caring about their opinions weeks ago. What he didn't know was that Zephyr's mother, Empress Kayla of the Celestial Dominion, controlled 70,000 star systems. She governed trillions of beings across multiple dimensions. Her words shaped the fate of civilizations. And she was watching her daughter with intense, silent pride. Kayla had sent Zephyr to Earth as an experiment in humility. The Empress had become concerned that her daughter, raised in palaces of living crystal with every conceivable advantage, had developed a dangerous sense of entitlement. Kayla wanted Zephyr to understand what it meant to be vulnerable, to need help, to experience genuine human connection without power or status as a foundation. So, she deliberately created the condition that affected Zephyr's legs, and she watched through hidden surveillance as her daughter struggled each day. More importantly, she watched Thomas, day after day, carrying Zephyr without complaint, never asking for payment, never seeking recognition, simply being kind, because kindness was who he was. The Empress of all the galaxies watched a 14-year-old boy from Bristol prove himself more noble than any of her generals. One morning, Zephyr seemed heavier than usual. Thomas noticed her breathing was labored, her luminescence dimmer. "Are you okay, Zeph?" "I'm tired," she admitted quietly. "My mother, she's made a difficult decision about me. About us." "What decision?" Thomas asked, concern flooding through him. "She's going to heal me," Zephyr said softly. "Next week, I'll be able to walk again. I'll be able to run. I'll be able to leave Earth and return to my people." Thomas's chest tightened in a way he didn't fully understand. That's brilliant, Zeph. You should be happy." "I'm happy," she said. "But I'm also sad, because I won't need you anymore." The words hung in the morning air between them. That evening, Thomas received an unexpected visitor. A woman of impossible grace descended from a ship that had materialized above his house. Empress Kayla, in her terrible, magnificent glory, stood before him in his modest living room. "Thomas Edward Matthews," she said, her voice carrying the weight of starlight itself. "My daughter has carried memories of you in her heart like precious gems. You treated her not as a burden, but as a friend. You asked nothing of her, yet gave her everything." Thomas's mother had fainted. His father stood frozen. "I cannot offer you wealth," the Empress continued. "I cannot offer you power. But I can offer you something rare, the truth. Zephyr's legs were healed long ago. She chose to remain disabled so she could remain with you, so she could learn what unconditional kindness truly meant. And in your daily acts of compassion, you have taught both her and I something invaluable." The Empress smiled, a terrifying, beautiful expression. "I will heal her tomorrow because she has earned the right to walk freely." But I wanted you to know, across 70,000 star systems, across billions of beings, I have never seen such genuine goodness as you have shown to my daughter. That is rarer than any element in the universe. Zephyr's legs were healed the next day. She walked into school under her own power, her crystalline form shimmering with joy. But every morning before classes, she still waited for Thomas at the gates. And they walked together, not because one carried the other, but because they simply chose to be together. Years later, when Thomas stood at Zephyr's coronation as she inherited her mother's throne, he finally understood what the Empress had known all along. True nobility had nothing to do with power or position. It was measured in the kindness you showed when no one was watching, and the love you gave, expecting nothing in return.